Aaron Rodgers might have already made the biggest decision of his career, and almost nobody saw it coming. One word from a trusted insider just changed the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The chances of his return are now described as minuscule. Is this truly the end for a four-time MVP, or is there one final twist left in his story? CBS Sports insider Aditi Kinkhabwala has reported that the chances of Rodgers returning in 2026 are minuscule. After speaking with sources close to the 42-year-old quarterback as the 2025 season ended, the consensus is that Rodgers is heavily leaning toward retirement. For Pittsburgh Steelers fans who believe this partnership still had unfinished business, that word lands like a punch to the chest. Minuscule. Not unlikely, not uncertain. Minuscule. That single update shifts the direction of an entire franchise. When Rodgers arrived in Pittsburgh, the move carried weight. The Steelers were not chasing a long rebuild. They were trying to stabilize the most important position in sports with a proven veteran who had seen everything the league could throw at him. Rodgers brought credibility. He brought attention. He brought belief that a disciplined roster paired with elite quarterback intelligence could still compete deep into January. The 2025 season was never going to define his legacy, that had already been secured years earlier. Rodgers built his reputation with historic efficiency, 4 MVP awards, and moments that felt scripted by Hollywood. His career began with patience behind Brett Favre in Green Bay. It blossomed into dominance. It later moved through turbulence, reinvention, and constant national spotlight. By the time he put on a Steelers uniform, he had already lived multiple football lifetimes. But Pittsburgh represented something different. It was not about proving he belonged. It was about writing a final chapter that felt complete. That is why this report carries so much emotional weight. At 42 years old, Rodgers understands the cost of another season. The public sees Sunday afternoons. They see the throws, the interviews, the scoreboard. They do not see the mornings when joints are stiff. They do not see the hours of film study required to keep pace with younger defenders. They do not see the mental toll of leading a locker room when every headline dissects your words. Football is not simply played, it is endured. Sources close to Rodgers suggest that as the 2025 season closed, his mindset shifted toward life beyond the field. That matters more than statistics. When a quarterback begins to picture mornings without meetings and autumns without collisions, the internal debate changes. Passion has to overpower pain. Desire has to overpower fatigue. If that balance tips even slightly, retirement becomes more than an idea. It becomes a relief. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, this creates immediate uncertainty. The organization prides itself on stability, coaching continuity, defensive identity, controlled transitions. Quarterback chaos does not fit the brand. Yet, if Rodgers walks away, Pittsburgh is forced back into the most unpredictable part of roster building. There is no easy replacement for experience. The Steelers must ask hard questions. Do they invest a high draft pick in a rookie and begin a long-term reset? Do they search for another veteran bridge option? Do they believe someone already in the building can develop into a reliable starter? Each option carries risk. Each option changes the timeline of competitiveness. Rodgers gave them clarity. Retirement removes it. There is also the emotional side. Teammates who believed in one more run. Coaches who structured game plans around his strengths. A fan base that convinced itself that 2026 could be the year everything aligned. Hope is fragile in professional sports. When it disappears overnight, frustration follows quickly. Still, Rodgers has earned the right to choose his exit. His legacy is secure regardless of what happens next. He ranks among the most talented quarterbacks the league has ever seen. His arm strength allowed throws that seem to defy geometry. His pre-snap reads frustrated defensive coordinators for years. His confidence bordered on stubbornness, but it also fueled comebacks that kept seasons alive. He never played the position quietly. From Green Bay to New York to Pittsburgh, Rodgers commanded attention. He challenged narratives. He spoke openly about media criticism, personal beliefs, and the pressures of leadership. Some admired the transparency. Others questioned it, but no one ignored it. That kind of presence leaves a mark on a franchise. If he retires now, the story ends not with collapse, but with choice. There is dignity in walking away before the game forces you out. There is power in recognizing when your competitive hunger no longer outweighs the physical grind. The word minuscule suggests that those close to Rodgers believe his mind is nearly made up. That does not mean the door is fully closed. Athletes have reversed retirement decisions before. Competitive fire can reignite quickly. A persuasive conversation with ownership or a new roster move could stir something inside him. But right now, the tone feels different. This does not sound like a negotiating tactic. It does not sound like leverage. It sounds like reflection. For Steelers fans, the coming weeks will be filled with speculation. Every interview will be dissected. Every social media post will be interpreted as a clue. Silence will create anxiety. Rumors will spread quickly. Until Rodgers speaks publicly, uncertainty will dominate the offseason. The broader league is watching closely as well. Quarterback movement shapes the entire AFC landscape. A veteran stepping away opens opportunities for younger stars. It alters playoff projections. It shifts draft priorities. One decision echoes far beyond Pittsburgh. And then there is the human element. Aaron Rodgers has spent more than half his life identified primarily as a quarterback. Training camps, primetime games, winter playoff battles. That rhythm becomes identity. Letting go of that structure requires courage. Retirement is not simply stepping off the field, it is redefining who you are. Many players struggle with that transition. The spotlight dims, the routine changes, Sundays feel unfamiliar. Rodgers has always projected independence, but even for him, the shift will be profound. Perhaps that is part of the appeal. Life beyond football offers freedom. Travel without recovery schedules, conversations that are not about blitz packages, time that belongs entirely to him. After decades of being evaluated weekly, stepping away can feel like reclaiming control. Yet competitive athletes rarely find peace easily. The mind remembers the roar of a stadium, the feeling of a perfectly placed throw, the camaraderie inside a locker room before kickoff. Those sensations do not fade overnight. That is why retirement decisions are rarely simple. If Rodgers ultimately confirms that 2025 was his final season, the Steelers must pivot quickly. The front office cannot afford emotional hesitation. Draft preparation intensifies. Trade possibilities expand. Every scenario must be explored. Fans will debate whether the Rodgers experiment was worth it. Some will argue that even one competitive season justified the move. Others will focus on what might have been. That debate is natural. Expectations shape perception. What cannot be debated is the magnitude of the decision in front of him. Very few players in NFL history get to choose their ending. Injuries end careers abruptly. Performance decline forces exits. Organizational shifts push veterans aside. Rodgers appears to hold the pen for his final chapter. That is rare. And that rarity gives this moment gravity. If he walks away, his career will be remembered for brilliance, controversy, resilience, and unforgettable throws. He will enter Hall of Fame conversations without hesitation. Analysts will revisit his peak seasons and marvel at the efficiency numbers. Younger quarterbacks will study his footwork and timing. But beyond statistics, he will be remembered for presence, for always standing firmly in his own perspective, for challenging the predictable script of athlete interviews, for playing the position with intelligence that sometimes bordered on artistry. Pittsburgh hoped to be the stage for one last defining act. Instead, it may become the final quiet chapter. Steelers fans are no strangers to legendary quarterbacks. The franchise carries history proudly. If Rodgers retires, he joins that lineage not as a lifelong Steeler, but as a veteran who chose Pittsburgh for his final stretch. That matters. It signals respect for the organization's culture and competitive standards. As the offseason unfolds, the only certainty is uncertainty. Minuscule chances of return. Heavy lean toward retirement. Words like that do not appear casually in insider reporting. They reflect strong belief from trusted sources. Until something changes, the expectation must shift toward farewell rather than comeback. Football has a way of surprising everyone. Decisions reverse, opportunities appear, pride resurfaces. But if this truly is the end, then the 2025 season will be remembered not as a stepping stone to something greater, but as the closing scene of a remarkable career. Aaron Rodgers may have already thrown his final pass. And somewhere inside him, the debate between one more run and peaceful exit is nearing its conclusion. For Pittsburgh, for the league, and for fans who have followed every chapter, the next announcement will define the direction of an entire offseason. If he confirms retirement, an era ends quietly. If he returns, it will be because something inside him refused to let go. Right now, all signs point toward goodbye.